black shit?
Not that specifically, no.
Oh man, we have so much to teach you tonight. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. You're gonna love it, every bit of it. And welcome everybody to Bad Science Sunday, where we take a comedic approach to debunking bad science on the internet. Tonight we have with us DokDeino.
Hello.
So, Doc, longtime friend of the show. You last time you were on, I think you were telling us about like a lot of major things you had going on with you in the museum and your burgeoning career as the premier paleontologist or whatever it is you do. Would you like to tell him the elevator pitch? Who are you? What do you do? Oh God.
Sure. So, howdy there, folks. I'm DokDeino, or Doc for short, and I'm sure that won't get confusing at all this stream.
Mm-mm.
I do dinosaurs. I'm a paleontologist. I do a lot of field work when I can, and I'm actually working on some research right now that I can't talk about publicly, but I'm excited to once it's published. And I have my own channel where I talk dinosaurs and science and stuff.
You look like a confused hobo. Are you okay?
My internet decided to just I am a confused hobo right now. My internet just decided to like completely just go AWOL for like 30 seconds there. It seems to be back now. So
All right. Well, fingers crossed. Doc,
Right.
you said that you Doc. Oh hell, here we go.
yeah.
Oh dear.
Dino,
You can just
you
call
said that
me
you had
Dino. That
you
works.
said you had some things that you wanted to share with us.
Yes, I did. I've got some exciting news lately that I wanted to share, and there are two main things.
Okay.
I'm going to start sharing my screen, Maya, if you wouldn't mind popping that up.
Sure.
First thing is, literally 30 minutes before the stream started, I got my first piece of fan art.
Yay.
Someone decided to draw my YouTube avatar, and Caden Slinker, I'm sure he shows up on this channel too.
Yeah, Caden has been in the months. He's been doing his Mormon stuff lately, but he assures us that he'll be back soon.
Well, I just wanted to show it off because it's kind of the first piece of fan art I've ever gotten, and I wanted to say thank you if he was around. If he doesn't show up, I'll thank him via email.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Caden. Anything else you wanted to show before I take the screen down?
Yes, I did.
Ooh.
So, as I already said, I'm a paleontologist. I'm not currently working at any museums, but I am working with my local museum. This is in the town of Grable, Wyoming. Here's their museum sign outside their door. It's a little local museum that I really love, and I want to try to help them grow. They're a bunch of really kind people.
Wow.
Wow, that's awesome.
Here they're letting me. Well, in this picture, they let me hold a cast, not the real thing, of an Allosaurus skull called Big Al, and he's pretty big. He's actually a very important dinosaur to science, and he was discovered right in this area, though his fossils aren't here currently, and there's a bit of a story behind that. They've got a lot of... Oh, go ahead.
Did you say what type of dinosaur it was?
He's an Allosaurus.
Okay, I was gonna... Yeah.
Yeah, named Big Al, very creative. But it's an important fossil and one of my personal favorite dinosaur skeletons. They have a lot of real fossils, though, like this beautiful giant ammonite that was discovered nearby.
Wow.
Is that
not
what that is?
Opalized.
Oh,
that
okay.
splash of color is part of the original shell that remains. It's pearlescent.
Okay, so what you're saying is the Earth is only 6,000 years old.
Obviously, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
And they have a lot of other stuff too. Over here, right close to the camera, you can see some ammonites that have been turned into jewelry. They've got local pieces of art. Apparently, these were painted using really colorful rocks from this area that someone crushed down and turned into paint.
Mm-hmm.
They've got historical things too, like old uniforms, lots and lots of old guns. But they're kind of having a bit of trouble right now, to be honest. They get some money the from the city government to help keep the museum open, but it really just pays enough to do basic maintenance on the property. They have a lot of things that they need and, well, they both want and need to get fixed and to improve. Like, these are some huge dinosaur bones just sitting out here in the open.
Mm-hmm.
Some
Oh,
of them are some of them are in pretty rough shape, but they can't really afford to fix them.
yeah.
Uh, so I am trying to help them raise a bit of money if I can. I'm doing what I can as a volunteer. Like, I'm actually helping to clean these fossils, move them around, help improve educational stuff in the museum, but I can only do so much. So I wanted to ask if anyone in the chat is willing or would like to, uh, please consider donating to the Grable Museum. There's a link in the description down there.
Mm-hmm.
If that link doesn't work for you, there's also the museum's email. But
Yeah, that's
they're
all in the
tiny
description.
local
And I just
museum,
put the
and
website in
yeah,
the chat as well.
thank you. And yeah, they're just this tiny local museum, but there's a ton of history in this area, and I want to help them grow. And of course, please do send super chats and memberships to Maya and Tap over here. Please do that as well. But
But yeah, I
if
think
you'd
they
be
would be better
willing,
spent at DokDeino's channel. And when did you say? Do you know when the next time is you're going live?
um, probably next Saturday is when I'll be going live next.
Okay.
But right now, I'm just trying to help raise money for this museum. So if anyone's willing, any amount helps. And that is my spiel. We're now 8 minutes in. Sorry it took so long.
No, it's fine.
No, that is great. We love actual science, contrary to what we what we
Yeah,
showcase every week. We
and
actually
what my
do.
fiance says. Yeah.
We actually do prefer the actual science.
Well,
I have a question.
oh yeah,
Do uh do fossils actually like you were talking about how there some of the fossils aren't in great condition? I'm assuming that's because they were like taken out of the ground and haven't been professionally sort of like worked on necessarily, or do fossils actually deteriorate after they've been taken out? Other than like, people dropping them and stuff.
that's a good question, and honestly, it's a combination of both. They most of the museum or most of the fossils in this museum haven't been professionally cleaned, or the term we use is prepared. Preparing just means you clean the dirt off and you paint them with a bunch of different substances that help them hold and stick together so they don't break.
Okay.
Actually, I'll share an image again. You can't see it super well in this picture, so zoom in a little bit. But there's this big shape over here
Yeah.
behind the glass. That is a big sauropod femur, like the ones I was just showing previously. But this one didn't get prepared, and it's just sort of crumbled into dust in its own
Oh,
plaster jacket.
Okay.
oh God.
Yeah, some of the fossils have been in this museum for 60 or 70 years, and they've gone through some things. They've had floods, I don't think they've had a fire, but they've had a lot of things happen, and some of the fossils have kind of been the worse for wear.
Yeah.
And I'm doing my best to change that, but preservation supplies are expensive.
They
Yeah.
are, and our government is not really helping out lately. And I kind of wish
No.
we were paying more attention to small museums like this um, before everything happened, and then everything happened. So go
Yeah.
team! But it looks like Canada's going to be better for because we're stupid. So there's that.
Yeah, there's
Uh,
that.
so let me think. Oh, everybody, we do have a bingo tonight. It is what do you call it? At the
Pinned.
are we talk oh wait, was there something you wanted to talk about?
No, I was just saying it was it's been pinned.
Oh,
The
The
pinned.
bingo.
I'm
link's
sorry.
still
Yeah,
not
sorry.
working for me right now, but that
Yeah,
might just be
apparently
me.
the link is working for some people, but not others. Because
Try this one. I took it like right off the Discord. The Discord link isn't working for me. So if there's people that if you click on that and
yeah,
you still can't, I guess let me know if that one works better. So I'll
I
pin
mean
that
it's
instead. But
I wrote the website, so it's if it's anybody's fault, it's definitely my fault.
mhm.
That's
But
probably true.
I yeah,
Yeah,
I
I mean
don't
that's my go-to. Blame the
yeah,
weasels.
yeah. So
All right.
mhm.
Um I always forget this part. Oh, wait, Doc, did you want to say something? DokDeino. Did you want to say something before we or
Oh,
did
no, I just figured I'd put this up.
oh
It's
no,
a
we're doing something
prettier
else.
picture.
Oh, you did the thing again, Maya.
Oh yeah. I was saying that and then I forgot that I did the thing again. All right. Well you tell everybody
Yeah, yeah.
no, it's my fault. It's totally my fault. Doc, Vandy, what do we have
All
tonight?
right. So, we're talking about just some rank nonsense.
Oh, it's gonna be horrible.
The title of the video is "Our Hidden Connections to Atlantis, Lemuria."
Lemuria.
I think Lemuria, since it's named after the lemurs or something, and beyond. And
So
this is from.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that this is from the unfortunate souls over at Spiritual Warrior Experience,
Mm-hmm.
who are just shy of 7,000 subscribers. Let's see if we can keep them shy of 7,000 subscribers.
Right.
And
How many views?
This video has 50,000 views over the last 2 years. So
Which
that, I
is
mean,
quite
it's pretty
impressive.
good for, yeah.
So the last time DokDeino was here, I don't know if he remembers, but somebody brought up Lemuria, and you were like, "Wait, Lemuria, the Madagascar?" And I was like,
Hmm.
"Oh no, he has no idea." So,
I I learned about it entirely like today. I had like heard the word, but I didn't realize that it was a legitimate hypothesis that was put forward that was then co-opted completely by
completely,
loons.
Yeah. So
which it's
I went.
actually really common, a really common thing to have happened for bad science or questionable science or debunked science, for loons to them come around, pick it up, and morph it into a bigger grand conspiracy of nonsense.
Naturally.
But you do know about the original Lemuria hypothesis. Would you like to tell? I mean, since you're such a great teacher and you've actually taught this, would you like to tell everybody about what it actually is or was?
I mean, TA for geology classes, I wouldn't say I've actually taught it. Also, sorry, I'm having
Mic
for
issues?
some reason I can hear myself. That's
Oh,
Do you
odd.
have the YouTube thing open anywhere?
Uh, I do, but it's muted.
oh, you
No,
know what? We
this happens occasionally
Wait, does
it
that
recently.
work?
does.
No, it's not
Testing,
like it's.
testing.
I don't think it's
Okay, I
Try it
muted.
again.
fixed it. I don't know what I clicked, but I fixed it.
All right.
Sure. So the original idea for Lemuria, it was an explanation for a bunch of islands in the Indian Ocean prior to the discovery of plate tectonics. basically, a lot of people were noticing that a lot of land masses were weirdly similar and trying to come up with reasons why that might be. One very common idea was the idea of sunken continents. These would be giant land masses that, for some reason or another, sunk beneath the sea. One of these was Lemuria, which supposedly connected Madagascar and India and a bunch of other islands in that area, like Sri Lanka. Now that we've mapped the sea floor, it's pretty clear that this sunken continent didn't exist. Weirdly enough, though, others did. There used to be a ton of land connecting, like, part of Malaysia and like Papua New Guinea to Australia. All that used to be above the water during the Ice Age, but now it's beneath again. But Lemuria
Yeah,
didn't
we
exist.
actually do know that
I don't know
there
how
were a couple of
conspiracy theories-
continents that have sunk under continents, correct?
Yes. This is also true of areas like the Caribbean. The Caribbean. A lot of the islands used to be a lot more connected than they are today, and a lot of other places with really shallow water. During the height of the Ice Age, sea levels could be up to a good 200 feet lower than they are today. So a lot more land was exposed.
Yeah, definitely a lot more land was exposed. And, we believe all of this because, evidence. That's an actual thing. Evidence that isn't you astral projecting into the past. Believe it or not, that is a thing.
I'm not surprised.
Specifically, like it was named Lemuria because, like, one of the reasons it was hypothesized was to explain the biogeography. Like, you have similar organisms, lemurs in particular, in Madagascar that are not in Africa right next to it.
Right.
Lemurs were a big part of it. Another big part of it was there are a lot of small primitive primates in Southeast Asia that are similar to lemurs.
Yeah.
Like tarsiers.
Okay.
And galagos.
Well, I don't know any of this. I'm not a biologist. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I do know what tarsiers are. I didn't know they were that closely connected to lemurs.
Let me show you a picture of a galago. It's so cute.
Sure.
They're the most adorable little things. Where is it? I just saw a good picture. There it is.
But you will be happy to know that Lemuria was actually huge. It took up like half of the Pacific Ocean, and it's hell.
Look at that adorable little guy.
Okay.
People are divided on whether this thing is cute or an abomination. Right?
I'll say cute. I will totally say
look
that.
Look at his little face, and you tell him he's not cute. Look at that precious little face. Well, they're so small and fluffy.
Won't tell you that. I will tell the chat to make sure you like and subscribe if you aren't already.
Now, if you want to see nightmare fuel, you should see an eye.
Do I want to see that?
You do.
Are they the thing with the fingers?
Uh-oh. Oh, God.
And they have the finger thing, right?
The finger thing.
Yes, they have one weirdly long giant finger because they pick for bugs under bark.
Yeah. It's
so,
like
you weren't talking about like a cool sex trick. It was actual thing. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, God.
Well, for any of you that, didn't need to sleep, or maybe it's already tomorrow. That'll keep you awake.
I had to.
We have a difference of opinion on the meaning of the term "have." For $2, Team O and B Formula One dog racing says DokDeino, bona fide Lemuriologist. He will be today, as will you all.
Well, only on the historic term. I don't know about the conspiracy. I think that's your end, Maya.
We are so about to learn about it. It's going to be great.
Yep. All right. Shall we?
We shall.
Go back. I guess I wasn't at the very beginning.
Atlantis is a reality.
It's reality.
It's reality.
Even among many who accept the reality of Atlantis, there are mistaken concepts based upon theories, or mere blind faith. So to that end, the purpose of this video is to provide the Gnostic teachings on Atlantis, Lemuria, and earlier root races, as they're known, for us to study in a practical way.
You know, my favorite thing about this is a cigarette.
Cigarette?
The
picture there.
The picture.
Thank you for coming. Please like and subscribe.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I feel like we're about to listen to some ASMR, and that stuff's always weirded me out.
I don't know if this is
talking.
ASMR. I mean, I'm not going to die on that hill, but it's going to be that level of batshit craziness.
I really want to know where the Gnostics come in.
Meaning through deep meditation and other direct experiences in the astral dimension. Other topics will include the Law of Seven, Gnostic teachings about the origins of the astral body, how the universe, Earth, and various humanities manifested, and more.
Various humanities. The universe, Earth, and various humanities manifested. I don't know what that means.
I'm scared to learn what he thinks it means.
Yeah, I can't help you with that one. Let's move on.
We are indeed here to practice the Gnostic method of direct experience. Towards the end, I will share a practical instruction on a way to investigate the topics discussed in this video. In addition, I will provide links in the description to useful Gnostic teachings and practices, aside from the one I'll share at the end here.
A proud people.
Before we
would you know anything about that?
We are a proud people.
We must comprehend something. All of nature, all of the infinite cosmos, at every level,
Ooh,
and every
he's got
dimension,
fighting words, though.
Oh. I will ban you.
You will not.
I
like him. He's cute. He's my new pet. Someone give him a membership. I like him. I want to keep him. And I will love him and kiss him and call him George.
Run, George.
Operates on certain divine laws. One such law is the Law of Seven, or Hepta Para Parshinok.
And that's a bingo square for the record. I accused Al of making up words.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long night if you're calling bingo squares.
Yeah.
Is there an opening? Like, can we get past the opening? Like ADHD.
I mean, so it's lots.
And he's talking way too slowly. Is this one too?
Oh, yeah. No, you're. I'm on 1.5.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm already on 1.5, Maya. I remember switching it to 1.5.
Oh my god!
Tab, we need to hear what it sounds like on 1 and then on 0.5.
I'm not doing the second one, but I will go back down to 1. It might be
really fun.
Don't go back down to 1.
Just for 10 seconds.
The Para Parshinok.
Oh my god.
This is a fundamental principle of the organization of all manifestations in the universe, of all matter and energy. This law.
Holy shit!
I was already at 1. Now it's at 1.75.
You know, it is crazy because you never start at 1.5, and
no, I don't think we've ever actually wanted to be at 1.5 for like an extended period of time. This is
yeah, God.
Oh my gosh.
Is visible in the 7 notes of the Western musical scale, the 7 chakras, the 7 bodies of the soul, the 7.
By the way, we are past the introduction. This is the first section.
Okay,
yeah, no,
that's really that makes me happy.
I can go back down to 1 point.
Days of the week.
Okay, guys, let us know. Is it too fast at 1 point? Because I listen to all this shit on 2 point speed. So, I don't know. I know that I have like a higher tolerance than most for this stuff.
It's astonishing.
Yeah, it really
Let us
is.
know.
7 primary colors, etc. All existing things.
Oh, wait a minute. Left-handed Jedi is giving us $6.66 to hear me say, do you read Suitor-Cane in the Mouth of Madness reference? I don't know what any of that means.
Nope.
I feel like some part of me wants to say it's Sutter Kane, but I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, that's probably true, Sutter Kane, because that's how the English language works. Sometimes, not always, but
Does it work?
I we managed to understand one another, but in our defense, we're stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, I
The
think it's kind of a Midwest/Northeast thing to pronounce T's as D's.
I I
I'm
meant
from the
Sutter,
Midwest.
not Sutter. But fair.
You
Data
read
that
Sutter
Anyway,
make
Kane?
the 7 primary colors, etc. All existing things pass through cycles of action and rest, or in other words, day and night. We can see in this diagram the
Do all existing things pass through action and rest, in other words, day or night? I'm going to go ahead and say no.
word
I
Manvantara,
mean,
which is
yeah, it doesn't seem right.
living things can't always be going at 100%, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, if he keeps looking for sevens, what does he think of 7 Minutes of Heaven?
You probably never got chosen.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sanskrit and means cosmic day. Pralaya means cosmic night. And everything passes through a cosmic day and a cosmic night. From the smallest part.
What is a cosmic day and a cosmic night?
I'm assuming the cosmic night is the opposite of the cosmic day.
Okay, but how is it different from like a normal day?
It's
What is the
cosmic.
word? Oh. Yeah.
Particle up through the whole of reality. This includes galaxies, stars, planets, and each of us. As above, so below. Each of us is a microcosmos of the macrocosmos, and thus we experience what you might call a microcosmic day, being alive, and a microcosmic night, being, well, not dead, but not in physical existence.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so we know that being alive is the cosmic day, but being dead is not that.
It's not that, because you're still okay. So you're always existent. Like it's talking about like the soul, right? It's either in a body or it's not in a body. But you're always having a conscious experience. So what he's saying is when you're in a body, you're in your cosmic day. And when you're just a pure soul existing, not in a body, that is your cosmic night. And we're going to go with those terms and definitions because that's what he's using this for. I was in the New Age community for a while. I've never heard anybody else use these terms, but it sounds like that's what he's saying. So I guess it's what we're going with.
I mean, it's very.
You know more than me or Tap probably does.
I'm just listening to the guy talk. I mean, we haven't. I mean, he's trying to. All right, we have to understand the groundwork, right? You can't get to multiplication if you don't know plus and minuses. So we have to understand cosmic day and cosmic night to understand the whole concept of Lemuria. So you got to get on board, folks.
Go team.
But what about second breakfast?
Is that on here?
Not that I know of.
According to the
so
Law
real
of
quick
Seven,
though, Flavius Josephus, the first century Jewish historian, for $5 says,
Wow, you're old.
Just imagine what the experience is like to someone who understands every word, if they exist. Yeah, I mean, they're probably getting a lot out of this video. And based on the comments, there's more people out there that fit this description than you would want, I'm assuming. And
that's
here we
true
are.
for a lot of conspiracy things.
Yeah.
a total of 7 Manvantaras, or cosmic days, make up one Maha Manvantara, or great cosmic day. Maha in Sanskrit meaning great. One great cosmic day is equivalent to 311 trillion, 40 billion human years.
Okay, I'm pretty sure this is stolen directly from, like Hindu or Sanskrit traditions.
Okay.
I think.
Probably.
I do know that there are some things that happen to line up surprisingly well with like the 13.8 billion years
Okay.
that we think that the universe is, and like that is a coincidence.
In the Sanskrit tradition, is that what you're saying?
yes, yes, or thereabouts. I don't know the details, and I think you can probably arrive at different numbers in different ways depending on which traditions and whatnot that you're looking at. But I would imagine that if we did have more of a background in that sort of stuff, that we would be tearing our heads out over the complete just illiteracy of taking.
He's not making this up. So Glorian.org says, according to the law of seven that organizes all manifestation, 7 Manvantaras, cosmic days, make one, oh, for fuck's sake, Mahamanvantara.
Mahamanvantara.
Yes, thank you. A great cosmic day. Maha means great. One great cosmic day is equivalent to these numbers on the screen. In human years, 7 cosmic nights, Pralias, make one great cosmic night. Mahapralaya.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sounds Hindu or like Hindi or what's their language?
Hindi.
Hindi. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took a world religions class back in college.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember Mahamanvantara, but I do remember Kalpa, which is another phrase I'm seeing in association with it.
Yeah, because like other things that people ask are Hindu related, and so yeah. Oh, cosmic cycles in Hinduism. Okay,
Yeah.
well, there you go. You called it, Doc. You were totally right on that one.
Woo.
So by virtue of this, does that mean that the universe is also just the Earth being a square spot in a circular void? Or
I don't think he said that.
I could be misremembering, but I think that's a thing in if not Hinduism, a related religion. But I could be misremembering.
Yeah, I went to Catholic school.
I didn't even do that.
I
have a lot of Indian family. So
yeah, that comes in handy. Do you want to call a family member right now to help us out?
Phone a friend,
right?
I'm just imagining a version of Dr. Kip that specializes in
Hinduism.
Yeah, and
they definitely exist
and stuff like that, and tearing their head out. I mean, Dr. Kip's going to do it anyway, so.
I mean, along with the rest of the chat, maybe drink responsibly, folks.
Oh, and Sumami's asking how my stepdad is Indian, and I know a bunch of people from his family.
Stepdads count as family. Usually, yeah. I don't include my. I refuse to call her my stepmom. She's my dad's widow now. She used to be my dad's wife.
I mean, I call him dad pretty often. He's taken better care of me.
It's totally valid if they raised you. I'm not going to get into family drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Maha Pralaya. In this way, all of nature unfolds in a series of sevens. We are living in the 4th cosmic day of this current great cosmic day. In Gnosis, we also refer to a cosmic day as a round. So first was the Saturnian round, then second was the solar round, and third was the lunar round, and now in this 4th cosmic day, we find ourselves in the terrestrial round.
Okay.
So which one of these rounds, is it happy hour now, or
I mean, it always is for me on stream. I'm just saying.
I don't know, but what he's saying sounds vaguely familiar.
We are not sponsored by Clorox.
I took a world religions class in college.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm not supposed to do that. I also just cut you off there, Doc.
I was just saying what he's saying sounds vaguely familiar, but again, I only took one world religions class in college. But this
Well,
sounds
yeah, but
familiar at least.
it
I don't know
probably
how
all
he's
has to
misrepresenting it
do
though.
it probably all has to do with quantum oneness or something, right? So
Let's
In
see what
the
he's got.
Saturnian round, matter and energy was very subtle and only manifested as far as the mental plane of the fifth dimension.
what does the statement matter and energy were very subtle and only manifested as the
In the fifth
mental
dimension.
plane of the fifth dimension? Is that what he said?
Round,
Yeah.
matter and energy was very subtle
Yeah.
and only manifested as far as the mental plane of the fifth dimension.
Yeah.
Well, okay, for the record, planes
Mhm.
are at least two-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know,
At
Tap.
least,
I think
yeah.
planes are
Well,
three-dimensional.
yeah, but the fifth plane is like 5 or 6 dimensional. I forget which. You got to think flatland.
Ah. You got to
Then
lose a
the universe
D,
entered a
Tap,
state
or
of
else you
rest.
can't understand.
Yeah. I can't.
Still beginning the solar round,
Not
where
fast enough with the joke there, sorry.
matter and energy manifested as far as the emotional plane or the fifth dimension. Then universal rest. In the lunar round, matter and energy condensed as far as the ethereal plane of the fourth dimension. After the most recent state of rest, we entered the terrestrial round. This is why the Gnostic teachings explain the first root race on Earth emerged from what's described as the fourth vertical or fourth dimension, and why we can find no traces of the earliest root races on the planet. They were far more ethereal in nature.
Oh, okay. That's why we can't find the origins of mankind, because they manifested in the 4D. We're in the 3D plane, so that we wouldn't be able to find them. And that completely explains why we have no concept of the true human origins. Womp womp.
So do we no longer have Australopithecus because they aligned all their chakras?
They manifested in the mental plane of the 5D.
This is the weirdest interpretation of the Silmarillion I've ever heard.
So,
oh God, we have keys coming out.
The earliest root races on
yeah, already.
right? He's still in the introduction.
planet. They were far more ethereal in nature. So according to the law of 7, there are 7 root races of any given planet within each round or cosmic day. There are also 7 races within each.
I might need this down a little bit because he's starting to get excited right now.
We will bring it down to a balmy 1.5.
right. Thank
His
you.
BPM is in the double digits now.
Each root race. But if we get into too many details, this video will become far too long.
No, we wouldn't want to get into any details.
You spoke faster.
So for the purpose of this video, we'll
for the purpose of this video, we won't get into too many details. And by too many details, he means actual facts or, logic or any, we're just going to go with what I saw in my head. Because if we get numbers or anything like that, that's just going to be too many details.
I feel like I don't want to know where this goes because it starts with the polar race, and then the Hyperborean race, and then the Lemurian race, and then the Atlantean race, and then the Aryan race. And that one throws up a lot of red flags for me.
Oh, no.
But that might just
We all know this isn't getting better.
Yeah.
Focus on
there's just levels of craziness. And there might be some
7
hidden...
of them.
All right,
cyclically.
Yeah. Fair enough. Let's go.
Titan,
however, we will briefly touch
on Jeff Goldblum now.
That's what?
Great. Titans. I think Titan's profile picture is Jeff Goldblum now. I saw it when you popped him up.
I'm into it.
Touch on the first 2 root races of Earth. Because we are in the terrestrial round, each of the previous races followed the law of recapitulation. For the universe to manifest something new, first it must recapitulate previous stages. Thus, the first root race, although sharing many aspects of
Wait a minute. I'm going to need both of you together on this one. Is that true?
I feel like he's taking a concept from biology that was proven wrong in the 1800s.
Oh God! It's almost like it's almost like I saw that before the video started.
What is it? Biology recapitulates phylogeny or something like that was the idea. Did I
is
get it correct, or
oh,
did I get the word? I feel like I got the order of the words wrong.
you got it roughly correct. I forget who the guy's name was. He was German.
Huxley? It wasn't
No,
Huxley.
Huxley was British. It's one of the guys creationists misrepresent all the time. They say he was put in court and thrown out of his university. If that sounds familiar at all.
Yeah, the guy with the drawings. Which I thought was Huxley, but who knows? I'm sure somebody will bring it up, but yeah,
Hegel.
they
Ernst Hegel. That's it.
It was the H. That's where. Yeah.
Okay, what about Hegel?
It was this concept. So Hegel was a German biologist in either the late 1800s or early 1900s.
Mm-hmm.
He was a big supporter of evolution, and he had a hypothesis from studying embryos that as an organism went through development, it went through previous stages of evolution. So, like, you became a worm, then a fish, then a reptile, and a mammal, and a monkey, and a human.
Okay.
That was his idea. It was almost immediately discredited. So, but creationists love to harp on it all the time because he was wrong about it. And they don't like his drawings because they actually show how similar human embryos are to other animal embryos during development.
Yeah. Interesting. And so you think that he's taking parts of that and for this? Or does it sound similar?
Unless he's taking something from Hinduism that I'm not familiar with, then that's my guess.
Yeah. The word recapitulate is like not a word I normally hear a whole lot, and I feel like in my life, 90% of the times I've heard it, it's been in relation to the conversation that we're having right now.
Yeah, and especially since he's talking about recapitulating previous forms.
Exactly. It's sort of like you're hearkening back to your earlier, more basal, or more ethereal form, and because it was all ethereal, that's why there's no evidence for it, because ghosts don't leave fossils or something.
And don't mind me, I'm just closing the curtain behind my computer.
No
to keep out the ethereal forms.
I have been trying to look for this, but I can't find it in EV Monks because it doesn't highlight the membership milestones. But two guys talking history, friend of the show, has been a member for 5 months.
I know where this is going.
Oh dear.
And Daedalus says, my magnets bring all the boys to the yard, and their light is better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours. He could teach you, but he'd have to charge.
Go play in traffic.
Races?
I don't know, Tap. I thought that was quite electrifying.
Shocking.
Were quite different. The people of the first root race were the Polarians, or the polar root race.
The polar root race. Is the word... I've never heard the term root race. Like, I could imagine it like, the root of a tree, but like the word race isn't really used in biology or phylogenetics anymore, I feel like. Because
who uses words like root race? Races use words like root race.
Before you tell us, Maya, my guess is a root race is where all the races of humans really came from.
You're a smart one.
Okay.
I'm not entirely this isn't overtly racist. It's one of those really, though I'm not.
Yeah, no, it's just.
This in and of itself isn't, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, almost any other thing that wasn't inherently racist, but then racists saw and were like, yeah, I like that. So what he's actually trying to do, just based on other videos I've seen, I I can't say that he, in fact, is a racist trying to make up racist shit to make himself feel better about being an incel white guy in his mama's basement. He might just be an idiot. I mean,
Yeah,
he is
we
not.
can
I mean,
hope for that.
he's bringing together. I can confirm that he's bringing together a lot of ideologies that are believed by non-racist.
Really quick then,
Okay.
for the record, all human races are the same. There's
Same
differences
species.
in skin tone
There's
and
one
some slight
species.
facial differences, but
Yeah.
we're one species. We're all equally evolved.
Yeah.
And populations of humans have been interbreeding with each other constantly ever since we first evolved. And with other human species too.
Yeah. And again, skin color is just what do you call it? A mechanism so that we can adapt to our climate. Not, doesn't affect the IQ or intelligence at all.
It's a direct result of how much UV radiation you get, and darker skin has re-evolved many times throughout human history.
It doesn't take that long. It doesn't take that long. It's like on the order of I feel like hundreds of years, if it like that, you can start seeing changes because it's beneficial. Anyway, I don't know.
I don't know the exact number, but I would say probably hundreds to thousands at most.
Yeah.
It's very quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They were true and complete humans in the original meaning of the word. Human comes from two Sanskrit words, hum and manas. Hum means spirit, and manas means mind. So, a true human...
That sounds wrong.
I don't know.
There's a time when I would have been like super gung-ho about looking that up, but
Oh no, between me and DokDeino, like, you're not going to be able to prevent this one.
Human apparently comes from Latin humanus, meaning human. Let's see where
homo man. Like yeah, like that's humanist from homo man, human being.
Yeah, but what about the Sanskrit though?
It says it derives from a Proto-Indo-European word.
Yeah.
That I don't know how to say. Meaning
humane.
Earthly being.
Meaning what?
Meaning earthly being.
Oh yeah, earth or ground. Yeah.
Human.
Like a dog.
Yeah, but English.
Is a union of spirit and mind. These were humans who were in constant contact.
The Sanskrit word for human is, if I'm saying it right, manav, M-A-N-A-V.
Okay.
At least according to Google.
Well, that's like, I mean, 4 of the letters are right? So we got M.
Although I'm also seeing Manu or Manusya.
Well, thank God for
if
this
I'm
video,
saying that right.
Yeah, right. No. Oh, right. No, it doesn't mean any of that. It doesn't mean ground. Obviously, it means spirit mind. Duh.
Contact with their inner divinity. They were fully self-realized humans. The Polarian continent, their inner divinity.
That's a lot. That's more than 7. I guess
is that
it's a
the
new
Kabbalah
section.
or the tree? No, it's not the tree of life. What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
It looks like the tree from Full Metal Alchemist.
Those are Hebrew letters, right? Are they the right direction?
No, that's a Jewish thing. Oh my God.
I think they're in multiple languages.
Yeah, but I mean at the thing at the top.
Oh, you mean the blue lit?
Those are not chakras.
Is that Jewish? Or not Jewish? What's that language?
Hebrew?
Yeah. Wow. I'm great at words.
I mean,
yeah, Kabbalah. Hold up. Okay, how do I?
It looks like Hebrew. but it may
Looks
not
good
be.
there.
I'm not sure.
How's it going? It's great to be here.
We should have Dapper
Have you
Dino
seen my
on.
picture of applesauce?
Yes, they've seen your
Second
picture of
life.
applesauce. All right. So the Kabbalah is a form of Jewish mysticism that explores the nature of God, the universe, humanity's relationship with the divine. And so this is a little picture there that looks exactly like this thing here.
Yeah, it's
There's an extra
topologically
circle,
equivalent.
though. There's an extra circle.
Extra. Yeah, because he's stupid. Did I forget to mention that?
Oh, well, no, I couldn't have figured that out.
Well, thank God I was here.
They were fully self-realized humans. The Polarian continent was on the North Pole. Their buildings were semi-ethereal and semi-physical.
Why the hell are they living on the North Pole? That seems like
Cold. And
yeah.
also ridiculous. There's nothing up there.
Did Santa kidnap them?
This form of protoplasmic matter also comprised the Polarian body.
Greenland's within the Arctic Circle, and I think part of Canada. Oh, is this where the Canadian islands came from? Maybe. Also, Northern Chimp in the chat is giving a... He says, Manas is a Sanskrit cognate of mind. Whom means I am. They're not sure where the guy's getting that alternative translation from.
No one is. That's the beautiful part.
Yup.
Humans could stretch, shrink, and enlarge their bodies however they liked. They could become as tiny as an atom or big enough to touch the moon. In fact, because nature recapitulates, we have a similar body.
That is not how anything works, okay?
How does anything work?
Not like that. It works in other ways, okay? Like you can't just shrink down to the size of an atom. If you shrink down to the size of an atom, do all of your atoms also shrink down?
Is that possible?
No, it's not possible.
I mean,
but
you're the atomic physicist, so you would know.
I would know, and I am using my authority to shut down all conversation.
Wait a minute. Doesn't Marvel have an Atom Man or Ant-Man?
Ant-Man. Yeah, no, and he shrinks down, and you know what? Sometimes they end up going into, I shit you not, the quantum realm.
Oh, no.
Well,
I hate it.
Hypothetical question, Tap.
Mm-hmm.
If you sucked out all of the space within an atom, how much would that shrink down the volume?
Like all of it? It's one of those questions that...
And then you just have like the proton and neutrons in the middle and then the electron.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't like saying that necessarily because an atom is mostly... The thing that's taking up all the space of the atom is the electron cloud. And a wave function exists delocalized over the entire space. If you were to perform a measurement where you could reach in and poke and be like, there is an electron here or there isn't one here, most of the time you're going to get nothing. It's going to be empty. But that's because of the way like wave functions work and stuff like that. It's not actually empty space. Like you have but if you treat all of the particles as little billiard balls, which can be useful for a lot of reasons, then yes, it's like 99.999% empty space. It's like the nucleus is like a pea sitting in the middle of a football field or something, very typical like that. Rockhammer somewhere for scale. I don't know. Yeah.
Just curious.
But I mean, there's no Rockhammer for scale. There's not. I need one of like four things. Okay, I need a Rockhammer. I need a banana. I need a giraffe.
You have a goddamn human being there for scale.
Well, yeah, but Maya, they just said that could shrink down to the size of an ant or get big enough to reach the moon. So that is not helpful.
Well, no, you're God. All right, so your energy field, it's kind of like what's the Earth has a thing that
magnetic field?
Yes.
Swear to God.
The energy field is the bodily magnetic field. I can't believe I totally lost words on that. Thank you. Yeah. Which is probably why you hate this so much.
I hate you.
The energy field is connected to your chakras. They emanate based on what kind of mood you're in, and if you're in a good mood, it gets really big and fluffy and away from your body. If you're in a bad mood, it gets really close to your body, and it's really dark. It gets like really like gray colors, and it molds to you. So depending on how big you are and how happy or sad you are is how big your energy field is.
I had no clue
Allegedly.
that humans were a dynamo with a semi-molten core.
Yeah. It's
In
they're
which you
called
experience
chakras.
tremendous
So yeah, the chakra system. The energy fields are directly related to the chakra system. That's why you see the chakra system there.
I
think this is the point where
Look,
I normally
if
slowly
either of you knew
back
how to
away.
wake up on a Saturday morning, Bree just covered that.
I do not know how to wake up on a Saturday morning. But whatever I do, I'm at Breeze.
If you've ever done a reality check where you stretch your finger or jump up with the intention of flying, then you have direct experience.
What definition? Reality check when you jump up with the intention of flying. Everybody knows that's not how you fly. You fly by falling down and missing. Good old-fashioned incompetence will get you places, okay?
Yeah.
Experience with a recapitulation
I
of the
miss you
polar
some
root.
people though, real quick. My unfinished journey has become a new member for 2 months, or anti-magnetologist for 2 months. And he says, "Hail Nero, hail Goddess and company." I'm assuming that's DokDeino here. And hail bingo cards. Yes, the bingo cards are back. Thank you, Al Trucker. Next time you see Al Trucker, tell him thank you.
And thank you, Holly, for managing it right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that too, Holly. Thank you all the mods who are here tonight. You guys rock. Also, Tori Swan Singer, member for 3 months, anti-magnetologist, says, "One of my favorite corners of the interwebs." Oh, we love seeing you in our little corner of the interwebs. Thank you, everyone. And please continue to enjoy your tapioca weasels, your nitties, and vaginas.
Race, albeit with a lunar astral body loaned by Mother Nature, and not a solar astral body created through alchemy or white tantra.
Man, there was so much in that fragment of a sentence. Lunar astral body as opposed to solar astral body created by alchemy.
Can you? I would like to hear that one more time. Oh, and the captions aren't on.
That's my bad, yo. Hold on. There we go.
He's saying a lot of words in order that none of us are used to, so it would probably be helpful.
Direct experience with a recapitulation of the polar root race, albeit with a lunar astral body loaned by Mother Nature, and not a solar astral body created through alchemy or white tantra.
Okay, yeah, you can stop there. I have nothing. What about the two of you?
I don't know what white tantra is.
Oh, that is the thing.
The best thing I can say about alchemy is that some really smart people spent a lot of time on it.
White Tantra is a group of group meditation practice, not a sexual practice, that uses synchronized movements, chanting, and breath work to facilitate personal growth and release subconscious blocks. It's about harnessing collective energy to support individual transformation.
Okay, that second clause felt pretty defensive. Right.
Each Polarian, being a complete human, was beyond the need for alchemy or white tantra. Accordingly, the Polarians were androgynous in this divine sense, containing both masculine and feminine cosmic forces fully developed.
How does that follow? How does what's on the screen follow as you implied by the word accordingly?
We have any names
maybe
for them.
Because a white tantra is a group harmonizing, hypothetically both men and women?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know, but
Sounds like a
Tsunami's
personal
right.
problem.
White Tantra sounds like a cheap wine.
Yeah,
I like
I like
that.
cheap wine.
I
You could say
happen to know that
projective
a lot of people here do.
receptive cosmic forces, if you like. The Polarians could manifest one form or the other at will,
Form of a con artist.
meaning they could bring out their masculine form or they could submerge it into their ethereal body and bring out their feminine form. When a Polarian wished to have a child, they would
Submerge
divide
it into their energy form and
They could submerge it into their ethereal body.
oh,
Which doesn't make a lot of sense because the ethereal body seems like it would be the thing that would be going in something. I don't know.
the actual body. So I'm gonna merge my body into my body and then come out a different body. Is that what he just said?
You're choosing if you are in your physical or ethereal body.
Why
I
can't
guess.
I just shape
Either of
shift?
which
Why do I
manifests.
have to implode first?
Maya, you're a goddess. You can do whatever the hell you want.
Exactly.
Okay?
Which is why I'm in the godly divine form of a woman. Duh. Why would you want to change?
I don't have a way to respond that works for me, so I'm gonna press play.
their semi-ethereal bodies, like how a cell divides within us to this very day. Also a recapitulation. Eventually, the Polarian age ended, yet it is taught their sacred island can be found in the fourth dimension to this day.
Taught by who?
What are these dimensions? What do you mean by dimension?
I mean, hypothetically, what would the fourth dimension be?
You're the physicist. You're supposed to know what a dimension is.
So a dimension is a coordinate basically that stuff happens in. I mean, it's not like a magical world. We live in 4 of them simultaneously. And the fourth dimension is traditionally taken to be time.
No. Again, think Flatland.
It never exactly, and that's what. So Flatland has 3 dimensions. It has 2 spatial dimensions and 1 of time. You can describe the position of anything.
Flatland goes all the way up to 10 dimensions. Like you start, I think it's like the 0, and then it goes to 1. Oh fuck!
Oh, I'm thinking about the actual story. No, it's.
Yeah, there was like a video. Oh, I don't know. I saw a video series where it started at 0, and
that might
to
be
the first dimension, second dimension. I'm sorry.
Flatland was also a book that was published by a dude, and it's also a pretty explicit critique of like Victorian social structure or something, as well as being this like weird geometry. Thing. It's an interesting
book.
read.
Okay, gotcha.
The book is an interesting read.
There's like I can't remember the name of the guy who did the series, but there's like the 0 dimension where there's just points, right? And then you go to the first dimension where everything's aligned. At the second dimension, you have pretty much just paper, but and we know about the second dimension, right? Where like you can see everything on one dimensional. But because everything's 2-dimensional, you see everything as 1 dimension, and which explains why we're in the 3D, why everything appears 2-dimensional. In the 4D, apparently this is a thing that can exist, like a tesseract can exist, where you have this 3D thing, a 3D object that you can see everything in 3D. So like in a 3D, like you can look into a 2D box, although the characters can't look outside of the box, we can look in because we have this extra dimension. 3D would then have that. I have no idea what the fuck that would look like because I got a tiny little woman brain.
Well, it's not, I mean, it's, I think by construction, impossible to imagine what that would look like because we don't have access to like the degrees of freedom that you would need to, make that. You can describe these things mathematically.
I've seen Right back.
You just keep on adding
I've seen
numbers.
computers do it.
Yeah.
I've seen computer like just man, it's like this is what a triangle would look like, and this is what I'm just like it just looks like or like with a circle. I'm thinking a circle's got to be easy, and it just look
Yeah.
a ball getting bigger and smaller, and I'm like I
Yeah.
can't conceptualize this. It's just not a thing I do. So, however, this is what they're talking about. Like that concept, that's what he's talking about.
I'm just going to say, I wish I had a $10 bottle of white Tantra right now instead of water.
You came dry to the party?
Bro.
I did. I'm trying to drink less.
Look, kudos. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life, but, do not recommend.
I know, but I was afraid if we played a drinking game, I'd actually die.
So
I could have fronted you some money for weed.
We don't.
Sadly, not legal here. Otherwise, I'd love that.
Oh my God.
Wyoming.
It's pretty empty up there, though, so ain't nobody going after you.
The second root race were
I feel
the
like this is a
Hyperboreans.
conversation we should have off air.
Offline, right? I was just like...
Their civilization played out on...
Sorry, yes. So...
The second root race were the Hyperboreans.
Hyperboreans. Do these ring a bell with either of you?
That sounds like something that's in a book.
I mean,
yeah.
Borean is a type of landscape, I'm pretty sure.
All right, what fictional genre are we missing this term from?
I have no idea.
Their civilization played out...
According to Google, Borean refers to a hypothetical linguistic macrofamily that proposes a common ancestor for most Eurasian languages.
Okay, it's like that, but hyper.
So I guess the high Boreans?
Well, they are, they're high insofar as they're inhabiting these horseshoe-shaped lands that go around the North Pole.
Some sort of masterful European race?
If you go back further in time where things are purer, everybody just went up north to the northiness with the white people. I'm thinking it might be racist, Maya. Like, he might not know that, but like, yeah.
Let's see what he's got.
On the horseshoe-shaped lands that go around the North Pole. These lands included Alaska, Ireland, England, Scotland, and all of the Nordic lands that still exist today, although not in their entirety.
Do any of those look like horseshoes?
No. I've been looking. I'm like, is it under the ice cap? Maybe he has different horseshoes in his country.
As everything was becoming more solid instead of semi-ethereal bodies of the Polarians, the Hyperboreans had gaseous bodies. Matter and energy continued to condense, but these humans still floated in the air.
I'm loving all the AI images.
What, did you expect him to go back in time and take pictures of our actual ancestors in their gaseous state?
That's what these are. Yeah. Okay, I don't know why you guys are saying that these are AI images. This is
yeah,
this
clearly.
This was shot on like a Polaroid or something. I don't know.
He took a Polaroid, went astral projected back a couple trillion years, and like, hey, can stand there while I take your picture.
Yeah, you just got to stand there, being a vapor.
Yeah.
This is what you see when you take screenshots with your third eye.
Boreans had their powers of clairvoyance and clairaudience fully developed. They could perceive in all dimensions of nature and the cosmos. They saw the elemental spirits of minerals, plants, and animals.
The elemental spirits of minerals, plants... Man, if you're given minerals, spirits... And like, to me, that implies the ability to like experience things and potentially suffer. That's just like my vibe. And I gotta say, most like just stuff that's out there in the world, not in great conditions. Like it's cold or very hot. Like, there's not a lot of in between.
Yeah, I have no idea what he's talking about. I would love to contribute to the conversation, but yeah, just
Well,
like I don't.
we would all love to contribute to the conversation, but he's making it very difficult.
Okay, so Doc, like the Polarians, the Hyperboreans were also divine androgynous beings. Please elaborate.
I mean, the guy's right. What can I say?
There we go. See, you just lean into it. It's probably aliens.
Look,
I mean,
you know what? When I
was-
told you that this would hurt, I can't believe you didn't stop by a liquor store. You've met me.
I have. I mean, there used to be like ideas in the Middle Ages that minerals were alive because you could make them grow. But I think we moved past that in the 1600s.
Well, clearly you're wrong.
I guess I am. This is truly modern science.
Insofar as it came out, what, last year? When did this?
2 years ago.
All right. Yeah, this is modern science. And for $2, Left-Handed Jedi says, Dinobots transform and roll out.
Roll out!
Yeah.
Like the Polarians, the Hyperboreans were also divine androgynous beings, whose bodies contained fully both creative polarities. Hyperboreans had children similar to how a plant sprouts a shoot.
Okay, no, that doesn't make any sense. You just said they were gaseous. Okay, like plants don't sprout. None of the chemistry, the biochemistry that involves a plant reproducing, none of that works in a gaseous state. I'm just like, I am not a botanist. I am not a chemist. I am a physicist, but you don't need to be to say that confidently.
So there are some plants, in particular mosses, that reproduce by creating a pressurized like seed bomb that explodes when it's ready and launches the seed to other places.
I mean, dandelions do the thing.
Reproducing that. No, they actually just like they explode. So maybe some plants have, maybe you could consider that gaseous reproduction. I don't know.
The fact that it uses a gas as part of the process, like air currents and stuff, I mean, like, no, it doesn't count. Are the seeds gas? Is the germ cell that actually fertilizes the thing, is that cell a gas? Even if you're able to strip it down to just being DNA that's being thrown out, which would be the closest thing, because that would be like pretty airborne. DNA is not a gas. It's like if you had a chunk of DNA in those conditions, it would not be in the form of a gas. It would be like a stringy goop. It would be a liquid, probably. I don't know.
I hate it when he has points.
And of course, we see this recapitulated in the human zygote.
For $2, Team O&B Formula One Dog Racing says, me, Grimlock. Grr. I don't know. Little dino emoji there. I like it.
Adorable. Look at the little doggy.
It is. It is pretty adorable. Thank you, Team O&B.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So this was the thing that we were talking about earlier. I mean, a lot of things look like this at this stage.
Yeah.
Basically,
most mammals, right?
All tetrapods go through a phase looking like that.
Okay, all tetrapods. God.
Yeah. Even snakes, they develop limb buds. They are just absorbed into the body as they keep growing.
Right.
Referred to as buds that later sprout or grow. The same happens for our blood vessels as well. We also see this recapitulation in how our nails and hair grows. Both nails and hair sprout.
You keep on using this word recapitulation.
I don't think it means what he thinks it means.
Thank you. Exactly.
I can't tell how he's using it.
It's actually like it's most of the time he could use worse words. Definitely, like the idea is vaguely there, but he clearly learned this word 2 days before he made this video, right?
Yeah, I mean,
And
what is a recapitulation? It's a reiteration of prior ideas or states.
yeah,
Like recapture, basically.
yeah, or like if you the term like where I normally hear it, other than in the conversations specifically about the Hegel stuff and whatnot, is when people use it to like recapitulate, like it almost like summarize. And I don't think that's necessarily even like the correct way of using it, though.
It
I'm not actually sure. Yeah,
it
words are flexible.
I think it's an okay way to use it. Like that feels okay to me, but I could be wrong. I'm not a linguist.
Yeah, we can't all be Dapper Dino.
No,
Yeah,
we cannot.
who is in fact an actual professional trained linguist. I'm telling everybody that, because
Jillian and
funny.
I are trying to get him to get a totes a linguist tote bags in his merch store.
Yeah.
Out from roots in our bodies. What's key to understand overall with these two first root races is that the sexes had yet to be separated in the polar and Hyperborean civilizations. Simultaneously, the solar system and Earth were forming or manifesting within a nebula, within a protoplasmic state. And as matter and energy steadily condensed from the fourth dimension into the third,
Wait, what was so there was land in the higher dimensions, or they just kind of existed and were floating around?
The solar system and Earth
were
forming or
no, because he's mentioned the Earth before.
Yeah, because I thought we were already on Earth, but now it's
exactly because we're on the poles, but
right.
They're forming in a nebula, so it's like a metaphorical Earth.
So this was happening like 5 billion years ago in a higher dimension where Earth already existed?
It was like 308 trillion years ago.
Oh, you're right.
No, yeah. That was the foundation. But now we're like existing on poles.
I mean, if we don't have the Earth, we don't have
a gaseous state. Somewhere in a dimension far, far above. Or something.
far, far expansive and around us.
Manifesting within a nebula, within a protoplasmic state. And as matter and energy steadily condensed from the fourth dimension into the third.
Not a thing. Not a thing.
No.
Okay.
You could also say it condensed from ethereal to physical.
You could, but I don't know why you would. Like you can say a lot of things. I don't. But
wait, is he equating the dimensions to different states of matter? Like the first dimension is solid, second is liquid, third is gaseous? Because we just went from
plasma to gas. Oh, that would vaguely make sense on that one level, because I'm totally prepared to be like, yeah, you've got gas as the third state of matter and then plasma as the fourth. You can list all these motherfuckers in any order you want. It doesn't matter. Okay. The entire idea of a state of matter is one that, depending on how you want to look at it, you have a lot more than that. I mean, when Bose-Einstein condensation was discovered, it was very commonly referred to as like the fifth state of matter. I think that's totally reasonable and appropriate. Then you got like superfluids and superconductors, and aspects of those are different states of matter. Aspects of them are also like the same state of matter. It's complicated. It is complicated, but it's also like, it doesn't mean whatever the fuck's on screen right now. And that is not a complicated truth.
In terms of the dimensions that we understand in Gnostic teachings. So, with the third root race, the Lemurians, their continent of Mu and planet Earth, all manifested into the physical plane of 3 dimensions. This was, as we understand it,
yeah.
Okay.
Mu, not mu, the Greek letter, but mu.
Mu.
Probably. I mean, I don't know.
He said mu.
All manifested into the physical plane of 3 dimensions. This was, as we understand it, millions.
Yeah, but do you understand it?
millions of years ago in the way we crudely understand time. We can meditate on how nature recapitulates this manifestation process of Lemuria and Mu. For example, watch a time-lapse video of water crystallizing. It requires
What?
What?
Watching water
Could we go back like
crystallize
10
is
seconds?
we crudely understand time. We can meditate on how nature recapitulates this manifestation process of Lemuria and Mu. For example, watch a time-lapse video of water crystallizing. It requires what we call cold, but cold is just another way to say a lower octave of the movement of energy or lowering vibrational movement.
He is equating states of matter to dimensions.
Yes.
Call it.
But I'm gonna do the thing that I'm able to do, which is say that the second half of this sentence could have been a lot more
Cold,
wrong.
but cold is just another way to say a lower octave.
You wouldn't use the word octave.
Why would you say active at all?
You wouldn't, because you're dumb and wrong, and he wants to make it all sound musical. But yes, cold means less music. Damn it! Look what he did to me. It means less movement. It means less vibrational movement in a solid. The temperature is like the atoms and shit are literally vibrating around. But it not why.
So you're saying the Hyperboreans were altos and the Lemurians were sopranos?
Where on God's green earth did you get the idea I was saying any of that?
Because they're in a lower octave. Aren't they?
That is what he said.
I am not a music theorist.
Vibrational movement. We can imagine how, when matter and energy condensed or cooled down in the superior fourth dimensions, it crystallized or manifested or condensed into the third dimension. Consider how water undergoes condensation, actually.
Oh boy.
Just give me a moment. Okay. So, consider how water condenses as a vapor, actually.
As a vapor, water is almost ethereal. Then the vapor accumulates and manifests into the form of a gaseous cloud.
What?
Bro, gas and vapor, like when it's in a cloud, those are little droplets. Those are liquid, okay? Just for the record.
What?
Slightly less ethereal. Eventually, enough water condenses into the cloud so that water descends as what we call rain.
That's still liquid. It's just big little droplets that fall.
And the rain becomes
like
bodies
donuts.
of water.
I like how he's describing the water cycle, but he never finishes it. I don't think he ever gets back to evaporation.
On Earth in the forms of
It's
rivers,
got worse
lakes, oceans,
ADHD
and
than we do.
aquifers. Those bodies of water, in turn, merge with the earth, plants, animals, and us. They become parts of us. Thus, the first dry land fully manifested into the third dimension.
Ta-da! And this is how Lemuria forms. You're welcome.
Okay.
The continent of Mu, also known as Lemuria, was described as a terrestrial paradise.
Described by who?
The people he talked to in his head.
Indeed, this is referenced in the book of Genesis as Eden. It was truly massive, situated in the Pacific Ocean and stretching all the way into where the Indian Ocean is.
Stop. All right, so do you see it? Like that's...
Is it just everything in red?
I think that's what he's saying, yeah.
What?
Like it's massive. It's a little different than what the traditional Lemuria talk.
What was the supercontinent before Pangea?
Oh yeah, you can look that up.
Was it Gondwana or Rodinia?
Gondwana. Rodinia.
Was it Rodinia?
That looks like a map of Rodinia, just turned sideways. Vaguely.
Yeah, but it's Lemuria at its greatest extent. Oh, this is the theosophical or Theosophical Society. These are the people that took the thing.
Hmm?
Acid?
Is today. Likewise, the
No, wait. They took what thing?
Lemurians
What
were
are you
also
talking
giants,
about?
ranging
The Theosophical Society. So I was googling this earlier, and Theosophy.
So
It
this
was
is
like
the.
it's most associated with Helena Blavatsky.
Oh, the Tool Society. Is that what you're talking about?
Might also be known by that.
What are you
I
talking
mean,
about?
this basically looks like what was proposed for Lemuria originally.
Yeah. So this is actually the one that most psychics and remote viewers, astral projectors will like. That's what they'll normally say it was. However, actually, there's another one I wanted to show. While he has something he wants to show while I'm looking for that.
Oh yeah, so this was Theosophy. It's like this weird thing that which is mostly associated with this one woman, and they like all of the stuff is coming from that. It's wackadoodle. ISIS unrevealed the secret doctrine. I mean, if you're in an organization and the secret doctrine is the name of one of the books, like it's probably a cult. You're probably in a cult.
Yeah, you're most likely in a cult, and you just think
Okay.
it's a secret society.
Unless it's like published by like Springer Academic Publishing or something like that, in which case it's about cults, right? But cults are involved when that's the title of the book. I'm just saying.
Beautiful.
So is
Yeah.
this kind of like just some weird syncretism? Like they just take things that sound similar from different religions and philosophies and
All right,
As
here's
one
the
does.
conglomerate them?
here's the other one where for whatever reason it's nowhere near Africa. It's just sitting out in the fucking middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Well, it's
Still
not
massive.
the Indian Ocean isn't big enough, Maya.
Right, because it's fucking massive. And then you also get the Mew in this one too. So
Okay.
Beautiful.
yeah.
around
Kind of
4 to
misses the
6
whole
meters
point
tall
of
or around
Lemuria, but okay.
No, it's just a name. The scientists got it wrong. If in fact they even know about the original Lemuria. Hypothesis.
I feel like we didn't even notice that we are this far into this sentence.
Oh, Lemurians were also giants ranging from about 4 to 6 meters tall, or yeah. Were there people that didn't
likewise,
know that?
For the record,
Lemurians were also
giant humans cannot work.
Oh no, yeah, they
seriously
totally were
changing our bodies.
Well, everything used to be bigger, and apparently there were humans at the time of the dinosaurs. So we too would have had to be bigger to make that make sense.
giants ranging around 4 to 6 meters tall or around 14 to 19 feet. These terribly powerful Lemurians.
4 to 6 meters is not 14 to 19 feet. The way I know that is because the difference between 14 and 19 is 5, and the difference between 14 to 16 is 2 meters, and 5 feet is not 2 meters.
Had their third eye fully developed.
So it says 14 meters
to
is
16 to 20 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
That still doesn't work.
Wait.
I just know 6 meters is about 20 feet. So.
Well, they said 14 to 16, didn't they? Or 4 to...
Oh, wait, 14
to 20.
Okay, I'm sorry. 14 meters. Google is saying that's 45 feet. 45 feet.
No, he said 4 meters to
4 meters.
4 to 6, yeah.
4 to 6.
Added
okay,
an extra
so
1.
You're saying 14. Okay, so 4 meters is 13 feet. 6 meters is 19 feet.
Yeah,
We're just
see,
shy
and
of
that
20.
Okay.
Yeah.
yes, and that makes sense because
developed, and thus it was a physically manifested eye.
this is not a physically manifested eye. Okay, if your eye looks like
He
this, one
physically
awesome.
manifested that in AI or Photoshop or some shit.
Yeah, I mean it's cool looking, but it like if you have this, you have some weird medical conditions happening to you.
But you could just have cool eyes because you're a fucking big ass Lemurian.
Psychical and shit.
Yeah, they're on fire.
Well, that's what it looks like when your third eye is on fire and you're manifesting and shit. Look, come on.
This allowed the Lemurians
Totally
to
makes
perceive
sense
clairvoyantly
in
around a third of all
lore.
the shades of color that exist. Today, we still have a devolved aspect of the Lemurian clairvoyant cyclopean eye, which is our pituitary gland related to the third eye chakra.
We lost
Indeed.
a whole eye and it manifested as a gland in our brain.
Yeah, it went as far away from the like edge of our skull as is
Yeah.
possible.
A Lemurian
Yeah.
It's like literally in
the middle of our head now.
Your head.
Okay, so if you go back far enough, our ancestors did have a third eye. But we're talking early Permian / Carboniferous ancestors.
Did they look like a cyclops? Were they 14 feet tall?
It would have been an eye in the middle of the top of the head.
Yeah,
So
like
probably not like a cyclops. It's really
it's like actually it's almost the opposite of a cyclops, right? Because like a cyclops only has one eye, and we're talking about a time when we had an extra one, so like wrong direction.
top clops.
Top clops. He says cyclops here.
Triclops. Triclops?
Triclops? I think it would be a triclops.
Yeah.
Chat.
is also what we call a cyclops. They are the origin of that very cyclops depicted in Homer's
I don't
Odyssey.
think he's ever seen a cyclops.
No, like it.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure the ancestral third eye is literally at the junction between the frontal and the parietals. It's here.
So how long ago would that have been?
300-ish million years?
Oh, God. Were we even mammals then? Yeah.
No, we weren't.
No.
This is
300
over 100 million
God.
years before mammals.
Okay.
Oh,
that's
we would
awesome.
have been... Honestly, we would have been pretty indistinguishable from reptiles at the time. Maybe with or
That
without
makes more
scales.
sense. That actually does make more sense. I mean, just kind of thinking about like why you would need a third eye or one on the top of your head plus, one looking up and then one looking forward
especially if you are cold-blooded, it's actually very helpful because it helps you tell like brightness levels.
Yeah. No, I mean, because there are
it's
animals.
also good if... Oh, go ahead.
I want to say there are animals like that too. I think I was looking at a bug or something where it's like they had a bunch of eyes. And then there was like one set of them was just to detect like either movement or light or dark or something like that. It was to help like protect itself from predators.
Yes, that too, because especially if something's bigger than you and it hunts you or it flies,
yeah,
as soon as something passes over, hide.
Exactly.
I think some living reptiles still have the remnants of a third eye, but it's usually covered by scale, so they really only can sense light.
Right.
I think the only one that has it developed to any degree is the tuatara, which is a small herbivorous I think omnivorous reptile from, is it New Zealand? Some island somewhere.
Oh, Bria's saying tuata. Tuata? Is that how you pronounce that?
She missed an R. It's tuatara.
Oh, okay, sure. I will.
New Zealand, it is.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right.
They're really cute little things. They also have basically no no close living relatives. They're their own branch of reptilia.
It's impressively scary.
Yeah, but they're still reptiles, okay? They can't give birth to a walnut. Sorry,
I mean, that's true, but their next common ancestor with other reptiles is from, I want to say, the early Jurassic, if not earlier.
God damn.
Yeah, super far back.
All right. So getting back to the video, at least. All right.
Yes.
Is there any indication that our third eye is now our pituitary gland?
I believe the pituitary gland responds to light levels, but it's detected through your eyes, not your third eye.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that there probably aren't a ton of photons that are making it all the way in past your skull into your pituitary
No.
gland.
No, I didn't ask if it can currently see things now. I'm saying, is there any so his allegation or claim was that our third eye, what used to be our third eye, is now our pituitary gland. And I'm like, is there any evidence to prove that it used to be an actual eye that could speak telepathically with other humans?
No. It
Yeah,
would
but
have
this guy said,
ancestrally
though,
been connected to nerves in the third eye, but that's about it.
But he astral projected back to the past and totally talked to our ancestors, and they told him that. Why would they lie?
I'm not saying they lied, but I think he was a little too high.
Fair. Let's go.
However, unlike the androgynous polar and Hyperborean root races, the early Lemurians were hermaphrodites. What we mean by this is that Lemurians had within them both manifestations of the male and female sexual organs, and thus, almost like a bird, they would create an egg, but unlike a bird, that egg was fertilized by the same Lemurian who also bore that egg.
What did you mean by androgynous, then?
None of that made sense. So you fertilize your own egg. Wait, what? Do that again.
yeah, no, because you're a hermaphrodite. You produce both the like sperm and the egg, like a bird, and then you fertilize it because that's
Birds
how it works.
don't do that.
You lay an egg, and then the laying egg is fertilized.
Yeah,
Birds
how
don't
birds
do
work.
that. That's not how birds work. How frogs
Who
work.
are you going to believe? Who are you going to believe? A fake weasel doctor or
your
somebody
education.
reasonable? Okay, yeah. Okay, look,
You-
I have a beautiful picture of applesauce, okay? I'm just saying.
That, for the record, that's what frogs and fish do. And there are living species that are hermaphrodites. Like, this is a system that can work. It's just
Yeah,
that our line
Yeah,
rapidly develops sexual dimorphism.
Yeah. For quite a while, I don't know when any of this was supposed to have happened, but like by the time that we look like this, like that, all that was long gone.
Yeah. This was gone probably before we stopped being fish.
Play button.
Today, we know that every 28 days or so, an ovum is detached from the ovary. When this happens, a small wound remains where the ovum detached, and a certain amount of blood flows, a process we call a menstruation cycle. Lemurians also had an ovum that would detach from the ovary. However, this would emerge outwardly fully fertilized. Then, once the child was born from the egg, the same parent would then feed that child.
Wait a minute.
At the
Okay,
height
so what he's saying is they were always pregnant.
I think he's saying that humans reproduce by fruit.
No, what I think he was saying, hold on, is
Lemurians also had an ovum that would detach from the ovary. However, this would emerge outwardly fully fertilized.
so what they're saying is that in their life cycle, at some point, this would emerge fully fertilized from this organ. Guess
Because
what? That's still how it fucking works.
They didn't have sex. So anytime they dropped an egg, they were pregnant. So like how often, he said that we drop eggs every 28 days. Are they dropping eggs every 28 days? I mean, that would literally mean they were always pregnant. Not every 28 days, but
They're
like
just launching them
there's
out.
their cycle. Yeah. As soon as you pump one out, 28 days later, better get ready to harbor another one. Like, what the fuck? How does this even make sense?
Well, the gestation time is still 9 months, so you've got like 9 of them at various stages of being baked before they come out of the oven.
So in an 18-month period, you're not pregnant for like 1 month.
No, you're pregnant all the time, and in
That's
You
what
have
I just
9
said.
simultaneous pregnancies.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Holy shit.
Well, I mean, what have you guys done lately?
Not that.
Lemurians also had an ovum that would detach from the ovary. However, this would emerge outwardly fully fertilized. Then,
That's what birth is.
once the child was born from the egg, the same parent would then feed that child.
That
At the height of
that's
their time,
also
the
how it
Lemurians
works.
had incredible temples and cosmic ships, capable of traveling to other worlds in space.
I'm just gonna gloss over the
They knew
whole
how to
this is
access
how I
atomic
know any of this and why they would do this or how gestational periods or how it got fertilized. Like they just
he's moving he's moving to his expertise. Okay, he's going to talk
Okay.
about like atomic physics and shit.
sure.
I'm really regretting
energy.
not getting a bottle of white Tantra.
not only in
I
uranium,
told you.
You did. You did.
Gotta get that white tantra.
but also from precious metals, stones, and certain grains that grew in the ground. These Lemurians were even said to be in contact with other humanities on other worlds, just as the previous races were.
What are these other humanities
These
on other
aren't
worlds?
previous races. These are drawings of Indian beings.
And
Well,
Egyptian.
And Egyptian, yes. But like, holy shit, come on.
As well. And this isn't really something strange if you consider that they were fully clairvoyant and other humanities are as well.
Yeah, but why am I considering
Oh, thank you
that?
for the clarification.
Why are we just like, oh yeah, they were clairvoyant? How does that work? How does clairvoyance work?
Apparently, it works the same way as just always being pregnant works. How you fertilize an egg, or how eggs just come out fertilized. How that works is how this works. Because, trust me, bro.
Maybe it's parthenogenesis with the egg thing, right?
Maybe he's pulling words out of his ass.
I'm great at that.
Fully able to perceive the other dimensions. It's no different than how countries today help each other out and communicate with each other on the earth. And this may be difficult for materialists to accept and for spirituals as well, given that for many this may seem a strange concept, that what we would today foolishly call aliens were in contact with ancient humanities on earth.
What aliens? Like, they're you're acting like it would be weird for a civilization to be in contact with other civilizations. That wouldn't be weird if they're out there and stuff. What are you talking about, my guy?
Tap, how many views does this video have?
It has like 50,000 views.
Yeah. How many
How
likes
big
does
is that
have?
channel?
1.7K. It's got 50,000 views, and
Oh, it's only got
just
1,000
shy-
likes. It's
Oh,
only got
yeah,
1,000
1.7.
likes. God,
1.7, yeah.
it's interesting.
That's depressing how many views that is.
Wait,
I was
hold
really
on.
hoping
Is
it was
better
like
for me to just
50 or
not
something.
do anything at all, or is
Yeah,
it better for me
don't-
to
It's
Don't-
engagement. It's gonna
Yeah, I
help.
was gonna say.
like?
Anyways, let's go.
There's a lot of very wild theories about that. But those beings are not aliens. They are other humanities, other self-realized individuals whose mind and spirit are in unity. Over the ages and centuries, newborn Lemurians began to be born with one sex more developed than the other. In this way, the Lemurians split into two sexes we're familiar with today. And this happened over a very long time. Because Lemurians, these new Lemurians, were new to the knowledge of sexual cooperation, each couple was guided by fully realized humans who were at that time on Earth as resurrected masters.
Okay.
Okay.
We can call them angels or Elohim, meaning gods and goddesses.
No, not okay, you guys. Not okay.
They kind of were not. They were kind of not the same thing, though.
Due to the Lemurians having all 7 chakras fully awakened and vibrating with light from the cosmic universe, their spiritual perceptions allowed them to see the Elohim.
So sorry. So
Is that
sorry.
AI Ray from Star Wars?
Sure.
Okay.
Maybe.
Truly.
A truly
Not just as
higher being.
Yeah.
physically incarnated masters, seemingly human like them, but also their perfected forms in the superior dimensions beyond the crude third dimension.
The crude third dimension, bro. I mean, it's just like it's like a coordinate where stuff could like be and do and happen and stuff.
Yeah.
Firstly, if one of us today sees a master walking on the street, we only see their physical form and think they're merely another person. Because in terms of the spiritual senses, in terms of our third eye, most of us are blind.
Oh, well,
I'm
yeah,
not
that's.
going to disagree.
Oh, so when you walk down the street, people just see a normal person and not, you, ascended master.
I feel like that's a charged thing for me to respond to for reasons I can't fully articulate.
Normal human in the streets, ascended master in the sheets.
There you go.
Not for me. It's been 65 years.
So the Elohim guided
We're
these
all in
newly
mourning.
male and female
There you go.
Lemurians to have children through white tantra, but only in temples, never at home. With the guidance of the Elohim and the use of white tantra, a single spermatozoa would be released and guided at the exact moment to incarnate a superior soul into what would become a new Lemurian baby. This
Oh, okay. Oh, this is the true meaning of the term immaculate conception. Tell me you're Catholic without telling me you're a Catholic. Sex is bad, kids. You should only have it in a church with the help of a priest. God damn.
I've done plenty of that.
What the fuck?
Maya's got some hot takes tonight, chat.
This is the true meaning of the term immaculate conception. However, because of certain unforeseen cosmic events, the Earth's interior became unstable. Due to this crisis, a certain sacred individual from another world decided it was necessary for Earth's humanity to receive the dreadful Kunda buffer organ to.
What is the
What?
Kunda buffer organ?
What the fuck, Doc? You're the you taught me out biology class.
I did several times.
Can you tell us about the Kunda buffer organ?
It is a hypothetical organ or process within the human psyche that prevents individuals from experiencing and processing terror or trauma.
You Googled that.
Yes!
Maya, the only reason you know that is because you also Googled it.
No, I actually had not finished. My Google search had not populated when
The only
he was.
reason.
Yeah.
The only reason
I've never
I
heard of
accused
this
you
thing.
of Googling it was because I Googled it. So
You would have to Google it because apparently it is not a thing. The term Kunda buffer is not a recognized scientific or medical term. It appears to be fictional or a made up word. Oh, that's awesome.
that's amazing. This is how it continues.
To help the Earth restabilize. This particular organ helped the human body to transmit energy downwards into the Earth, and it did save the planet. The Elohim continued to help the Lemurians at both the individual and collective level.
Wait, is Dr. Kip still here? Dr. Kip, calling Dr. Kip. You never told us about the Elohim helping the Lemurians. Like, goddamn, dude, what are you doing with your whole fucking channel?
Yeah, are you
awake?
siphoning energy from us? Because
Just
it
trying to
sounds like
hide
the
the real-
Kunda buffer organ is like.
I'm beginning to wonder if he's not part of Big Bible.
Here, wait.
Yeah.
I have a source from the source of all truth, Reddit r/occult. The Kunda buffer is a device installed by higher intelligence to prevent human beings from seeing the reality that we were an invention to be used for the very specific aims of the higher cosmos. So says r/occult.
Okay, well, I mean, that seems credible.
More credible than this.
Yeah, that tracks.
Within each Lemurian could allow greater freedom to the double of that divinity. As esoterically, this double is known as Lucifer, the logoic reflection within each of us. Lucifer is related to the myth of Prometheus.
Is Lucifer related to the myth of Prometheus?
No, not at all, actually.
Don't they have completely different cultural backgrounds?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, completely.
And of himself is not
Dr.
an evil
Kip
figure.
still here?
I am trying to summon him.
As many think he is the same as Satan. But Lucifer is actually the light bringer, a shadow of our divine being, or a reflection of our divine being, who tests us with temptation. Only through temptation can one develop and acquire golden virtues. Without weight, no muscle can develop.
Right?
Unfortunately,
kind of hitting it a little bit there. I don't know. I feel like if we were to dapper stream, we'd be far enough along to just be like, that kind of made sense, drink.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
one
Yeah,
develop and
fair.
acquire golden virtues. Without weight, no muscle can develop. Unfortunately, due to both that temptation and certain black magic elements from previous cosmic
And that's where we go to the black magic elements, though. Like
Black magic elements.
yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, he said Lucifer, so I mean, we were all expecting it.
days, one might describe as demonic
Also,
in
I
some
think
cases.
Titan's right. This is spirit science without the fun cartoons.
Hey,
Oh,
Titan, we have fun AI. It's not nearly as good, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Many Lemurians fell into making the error of engaging with such temptation, specifically sexual temptation.
Sexual
This
temptation.
is what you show when you want to show like sexual temptation. It's just like a weird choice.
This
okay?
is like, I don't know. It's just my Catholic background. I mean, and I'm not saying it's only Catholic. I mean, obviously, like all Christians have like the sexual taboo things there. I'm wondering though if he's not a former Catholic, because like they just the shame. And again, I've never been an apologist, so totally plausible. But usually when I'm listening to like evangelicals, like my Catholic radar isn't pinging. All that aside, there's just a lot of latent Christianity coming through in this.
I'm just trying to figure out how many religions he's going to borrow from. It's like we've got Hinduism, Buddhism, Egyptian, Christianity, Greek, Rome. How many are we going to go through?
And a lot of spirit science too. You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, I don't tell him about others. He'll try to incorporate it.
Instead of performing alchemy or white tantra in the temple under the guidance of the Elohim, these Lemurians, who fell into the temptation of those Luciferian influences and dark elements, began to do the opposite. Instead of going to the temples, many Lemurians took sex into their own hands in their homes and abused it through animalistic orgasm.
Animalistic orgasm. They're actually quite nice.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
So instead of their sacred
No,
serpentine
sex is bad, kids. It should only be had in a church with a priest. I mean, this is what he's saying. I mean, am I wrong? Does anybody else want to have a hotter take on this?
No, you're right. That is literally what he's saying. He's saying that you can only do the sex stuff
in the
while you're
church
performing
with the head
alchemy
holy
and
guy
white
watching
tantra.
and helping out so that you have the
Yeah.
orgasm properly.
Otherwise, you're an animal.
Yeah, you're having animalistic orgasms, which is bad, and you should feel dirty.
Personally, sounds kind of, I mean, it sounds like maybe a good time, just saying.
in their homes and abused it through animalistic orgasm.
Team O&B, Formula One dog racing, who has been who's been giving us a lot of money. So I do want to, you know, shout them out properly. The prostate, aka male G-spot, aka the shitterus.
Shitterus.
All right, thank you. I like.
So instead of their sacred serpentine fire going upwards and inwards, it descended from the coccyx downwards towards the lower astral or infernal dimensions. This is the famous forked tail with which the biblical Satan is represented.
Sushumua? What is this? What are we looking at?
I don't know.
No. That looks like the sign on like an ambulance, doesn't it? Like a snake
the
wrapped around a pole.
Yeah, the medical thingamabob. Chat. Anything?
Apparently it's based on the rod of Asclepius. So let's see what that looks like.
Yeah, but it's not, something's missing. It's not quite the...
Yeah, it's not quite the same.
Yeah, what Titan is saying here. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Caduceus?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I'm guessing. That's a guess. I don't know if that's how it...
Maybe.
Yep, it is the Caduceus.
Does it look exactly like that?
Apparently.
I feel like
2 intertwining snakes around a rod with a pair of wings at the top.
Oh, yeah. I was right. He's got more going on there. Yeah, hold up, this part is, but like it's like got an extra snake, and I don't know what the fuck this thing is at the top with wings.
Oh yeah, at the bottom there's this extra snake, which is, and then there's like another pair of wings.
Yeah, there's like extra wings and a neck
at the very bottom.
Snake. I don't know why all of that is happening. That was, yeah. I mean, I wasn't saying it wasn't that. I'm sorry. What I said was that he's got some extra shit in there.
Yeah,
it does.
This Kunda buffer organ was removed from humans, but not before those consequences of Black Tantra and
God damn it! Why didn't we know that off the top of our head?
We're not very smart.
Ego generation remained in the 3 brains of the human machine.
Oh, God
now,
damn.
many Lemurians were listening to their egos and not their inner.
Yakub only had 2.
Yeah. I mean, and his head was already huge,
right?
Divinity. This was a extremely serious problem. Each psychological aggregate, or ego, traps within it a piece of our consciousness. When we have very little consciousness or light, there is much darkness, or ego, noise.
How are you measuring like quantities of consciousness? Are you trying to build a Horcrux?
I think first he pulls a bunch of words out of his ass.
Yeah. And we cannot speak with our divine innermost. Diarrheas them onto the screen.
Yeah.
Being.
Yeah, with the help of his AI.
AI, I don't... What evidence do you have that AI is involved in this?
None, I'm an idiot.
You said it, not me.
Divine forces. We lose our spiritual senses, or worse, we awaken their inverted opposites. As Master Samael says, humanity is the womb where angels and demons are gestated. Therefore, the only outcome of humanity is nothing else but angels and demons.
Who said that?
To help reawaken.
Is that an actual quote?
Samael, Master Samael, who I think maybe... I know... So I watched the show Lucifer on Netflix. Great show. And Samael, I think, was Lucifer's name before it was Lucifer. But I might be wrong. I can't remember.
Okay.
Samael says, humanity is the womb
it's a figure
where angels
in Jewish folklore.
What?
I have no idea.
Samael?
Oh, yeah. I think he's...
it's a messenger of God.
Yeah. No, he's one of the angels. But, like, usually they're not making epic quotes. So I'm just like... I don't know.
Well, no, it's this Samael
Weird. No. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, in Jewish folklore, Samael is an angel. I don't think that it's the same entity that made this quote. I don't know, but it's whatever.
Demons are gestated. Therefore, the only outcome of humanity is nothing else but angels and demons. To help reawaken these Lemurians with so much ego, divinity began working to bring them back into white tantra. Some would listen and reawaken, yet many would not. So those Lemurian humans who did reawaken would go on to survive the earthquakes and great fires that sank the continent of Mu into the oceans of India and the Pacific over thousands of years.
Well, hold on. Wait, what?
Okay, so there are people who manifested into the lower 3D, and they were destroyed along with the land.
Oh,
and
man.
Ones that reawoken and understood that sex should only be had with a priest, could manifest back into the 5D, and then they were saved.
All right. So we have just finished one section.
What's your point?
The next section is Atlanteans.
What's the section after that?
The section after that is... Hold on. Sorry, I zoomed out for a thing.
Are you wishing to dive into the heart of the racism, Maya?
So Atlanteans and then the fall of Atlantis is
That's
sort of
all of
longer.
that.
Yeah.
Well, we already know about Atlantis. Let's go into the fall of Atlantis.
Okie dokie.
Pass through its 4 seasons or 4 ages. These 4 ages are the Golden, Silver, Copper, and Iron Age. For Atlantis, as the Copper Age began and progressed, there was a divergence of 2 civilizations. Some people were connected to their inner divinity by means of white tantra.
Like, I feel like I've never heard of white tantra before this video, though.
And the ancient spiritual practices, and other Atlanteans began to fall into temptation.
I mean, apparently it's a thing.
I think I've heard it called a tantra, not a tantra.
Oh, well, that's just
I've heard that word before.
Also.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it wrong because it's
Or maybe I'm just mixing it up with mantra. I don't know.
Same elements from the time of Lemuria. Those people fell into Black Tantra. And the
Black
left-hand path
Tantra.
of Black magic
Oh, I like that. There's Black Tantra too?
of course
took root in
Maybe
the
white
continent of
tantra is
Atlantis.
10 proof and black tantra is 20 proof.
Ooh, wait a minute. No, I like
Because
that.
it makes you black out.
I like that name, Black Tantra. I feel like I should change my name. Black Tantra is a form of Tantra that focuses on using the darker, more powerful aspects of material energy, often involving rituals that may include the use of meat, alcohol, or even human remains to achieve the practitioner's goals. It is one of the main types of Tantra alongside white and gray Tantra. There's gray Tantra. And it emphasizes the use of sexual energy in a way that can involve ejaculation. I want to be Black Tantra. Hey, if I change my screen name, do you think like it would confuse people? Or do you think it would be their own fault for not watching my show?
yeah. I mean, yeah.
Their
might
problem
do
for not
that.
watching. But
Yeah,
also,
just like
I
you're a
really
goddess,
like
you can
that.
do whatever
No,
you
it like
want,
speaks to my soul.
but okay, so we have it's stronger. It
No, it's
uses
better.
more
Black
alcohol.
Tantra is so much better.
And it involves sex. Yeah, it's just the stronger version of white tantra.
It's Black
Which is twice as high proof.
I love it.
No, meat, alcohol, human remains to achieve the practitioner's goal of emphasizing sexual energy. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. You eat meat with wine, and then there's the sex.
How has this not always been my screen name? I like that. Black Tantra is an Aquaman villain. I shall be Aquaman villain. Bring me Aquaman.
Atlantis, its science grew tremendously materialistic. In particular, their long-standing science of organ transplants began to include brain transplants. This would allow a person to remain alive for many centuries through many bodies. It was this era when their nuclear rockets were built, and when they would travel to the moon and many other planets in the solar system.
Where are you?
See, why Jester's my favorite? Why are you my head holy guy? It should be Jester. Jester, I love you.
In time, Atlantis also produced the atomic bomb, and worse, entire cities were devastated in wars. By the last few centuries, everything worsened. However, there was a particular organization at that time known as the Akhaldan Society, or Akhaldan Society. This group, the Akhaldan Society, were sages who performed experiments not just in the physical, but in the superior dimensions, such as the 4th dimension and 5th dimension. Because of their connection with divinity and their awakened
Huh?
I've never heard of this before. Have you guys ever heard of this before?
Was there a
Maya, where
science
do you find
episode?
this stuff?
I'm a goddess, but we have our ways.
I mean, how does every line make progressively less sense?
I know, right? And that's really where I am, because I'm just like, I don't know how to make this make sense.
I don't even know how to like actually make a joke about it because I don't even. It's what is happening right now.
Now, Titan said this is spirit science without the fun visuals. It's spirit science, but it makes less sense because at least spirit science bases things on space Jews or something. Like, it's stupid, but it's a concept you can understand.
I really, yeah, and I really think that was just Jordan trying to figure out how to be anti-Semitic overtly to appease like people, because like the stuff that he was talking about had been like I was actually in um like the New Age community when that video came out, and I remember wondering what the fuck is a space Jew? Like why are we calling, he actually called them Hebrews, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Like that's just not what they are, like what they are, because you know it, everything he said was believed, but I'm like, why are we using this name? So it was just, oh my god, it was wacky for even those of us who believed but weren't racist. Jordan's something else. And then then I found this. And for $2, Jester says, I can confirm there are no jest here, only weeds. We do like the weed here. Thank you.
Faculties.
And for $5, Justin, friend of the show, says, beware of the weasel.
We are a proud people.
He keeps saying that. Hooligan also has become a tapioca weasel, hitting 1 year, the 12-month mark. You know, let's go. Please continue to enjoy your tapioca weasels, you nitties and vaginas.
These sages were warned that a great catastrophe was approaching Atlantis. Thus, heeding this warning from divinity, these sages moved to a small continent at that time called Grabansky or Grabansi. After this great catastrophe occurred, when new lands emerged from the oceans, those lands merged with Grabansky, and this larger continent became known as Africa. As you might suspect, after traveling into those newer lands of South Africa, these sages would later establish their famous university in Cairona, or today known as the city of Cairo. These sages also knew about the mysteries of the...
Yeah, see, I called it. We're just making shit up now.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's giving the origins of that advanced civilization that inspired
Egypt. Yeah,
because brown people can never.
No, we have no idea. Stack rocks on top of one another like blocks. Like simple things that 5-year-olds can do. Us black people cannot figure it out without white people or aliens.
But Rome did everything by itself.
Totally by itself. Because they have the white skin, and that makes you smart.
And they were the first to use it by placing the Sphinx in front of their university.
Does this guy think this is the Sphinx?
Does he think that's a university over there?
I don't know why this is here. I don't know why any of these pictures are here. He likes the picture, and that's why it's here.
That's the...
That's the Sphinx.
It's closer.
Sphinx represent, exactly.
I mean, if you actually look at the image, there's like some weird artifacting and stuff going on. So I think this is also is... I don't know. This might just be a weird long exposure shot. I don't fucking know.
It's a low quality image, but the Sphinx does have layers running through it like that.
Yeah, that it does. I'm thinking more like over here. It's like just weird.
As Master Samael teaches, the symbol of the Sphinx has the claws of a lion, which represents the element of fire. The human head represents water. The hooves of the bull represent the element earth, and the wings represent the air. These are in relation with the 4 necessary.
He's talking about a symbol, like the mythological creature, not the Egyptian Sphinx. Gotcha.
Okay.
Virtues to achieve the realization of the inner self, the being. One has to have the courage of the lion, the intelligence of the human being, the wings of the spirit, and the tenacity of the bull. Only in this way is it possible to achieve the realization of the inner self, the being.
Fantastic. Great. What wisdom.
Those were all words. Yeah. Way to go.
Yeah.
Way to take a quote from some other guy.
I don't know what this has to do with...
he doesn't either.
Atlantis?
And the Sphinx is a symbol found not only of the Chaldean society who survived the cataclysm, who are responsible for many of the pyramids we see today.
Yeah, because absolutely nobody watching this has any idea what a Sphinx is. I'm really loving the commitment to detail and facts, finally.
Yeah, and nearby cultures never share mythical creatures. ever.
Yeah.
Chaldean society who survived the cataclysm were responsible for many of the pyramids we see today, particularly the Great Pyramid in Egypt. They used the Great Pyramid and others to study the stars with their sixth sense or third eye. Anyone who has learned about the pyramids, especially the Great Pyramid, knows there are large tubes running from underground at the bottom all the way to the...
They're tunnels.
Like-
It's different.
Tunnels.
Tunnels are different than tubes.
Yeah.
top of the pyramid. These canals or tube formations are indeed telescopes. However,
I mean,
What?
yeah. Julie, welcome, first and foremost. Your bullshit detector should be flashing like an alarm before you hit the thumbnail. We are so glad you're here. Pull up a chair and a bottle of vodka.
So just because lenses are made of quartz and sandstone is made of quartz does not mean you can use sandstone as a lens.
No,
that's exactly what that means.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. We're not telescope. Jesus. Where are you getting that?
Was it a telescope?
They didn't even do... I don't even think the ancient Egyptians did glass blowing. Weirdly.
I want to say they did glass, but I can't say that for sure. And I'm not an archaeologist. I'm not going to say it.
Very, very long-lived civilization, so probably parts of it did. But
probably, but like I'm not gonna lie. I'm not okay. The pyramids, especially the Great Pyramids, are incredible. They required an incredible amount of manpower. They are super precisely engineered. They are amazing feats of human ingenuity, engineering.
Yeah.
They're not a telescope.
No. Yeah.
These are facts, though. I don't think he knows what facts are.
A bicycle cannot get itself into space.
I mean, have you never watched E.T.?
Ooh, good one.
God damn it.
telescopes were designed for someone who possessed spiritual perception or clairvoyance, meaning they were connected with their inner divinity. The observatory itself was located at the inner bottom chamber, where those sages would place a vessel with water on a chosen day.
Through 800 feet of stone?
Yeah, but it's magical, ethereal stone, and maybe in the higher, superior dimensions, it's transparent. Right?
Their star would be visible through that canal. The star was reflected upon the water. Those great Atlantean adepts of astrology observed the stars not merely with their physical senses, but also with their spiritual senses. Thus, they observed and learned far more than even our most advanced space-based telescopes can today.
I mean, no. Our advanced space-based telescopes are very impressive. I don't think you've looked at enough of their images. And I don't think you've compared them with the images, all 0 of them, that this thing has produced.
Now, we arrive at the question some of you may have been wondering. How is it that entire continents sank into the oceans while new ones arose from the waters? This is an important question, because while all these stories of past root races from the Gnostic teachings are well worth studying...
It's funny because there have been a non-zero number of human beings who have wondered that same thing.
Yeah?
We have answers.
We have very easy to understand, testable answers.
But
really basic shit.
You'd have to be committed to actual facts to understand it.
No.
What we really want is direct experience. That's the whole aim of this particular video, to provide impressions of the Gnostic teachings that allow anyone watching to use the practices provided through the Gnostic teachings from the masters on things like meditation, transmuting creative energies, using mantras to awaken chakras. I received a direct experience on the floor and moved toward a global catastrophe.
Well, hold on. What? Maybe I do care.
About volcanoes.
For my own part, I received a direct experience in the astral with a global catastrophe. I have seen how an entire volcano can rapidly rise from the ocean floor and move towards the very continents that we now know at incredible speed. I've also seen how those volcanoes can...
This looks like an IRL picture.
It's like that.
Result in the dramatic heating and cooling of the planet over a large amount of time. Something I later contemplated in meditation is the question of how such a thing could occur.
Fair.
I mean,
even he was like, this, what? Wait, what?
what he means by meditation is that he was talking to his ascended masters and looking for answers. You do understand that, right?
Was he also stoned?
Obviously.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Maya, about that
remember,
weed offer.
That our modern understanding of what we like to call science is woefully dogmatic and limited. The rigid belief that laws of nature are static is clearly foolish, just like the geocentric model of our own civilization's history. What we need to comprehend is that we currently have a chronostatic centrism that's exactly like the old geocentric foolishness of our past. The fourth dimension sits above the third dimension.
Oh,
an even more superior.
See, I told you it was above. I called it. You didn't believe me, but I knew.
I never believe you.
Look, well, he just confirmed that I was right.
Oh, this is the guy you want to hitch your wagon to. Okay.
Dimensions or heavens are above that.
The fourth dimension, it is above the third.
So
it's up.
We can answer
really
these
quick,
questions
just
with
all that shit he said there.
Mm-hmm.
Tap, if you made a discovery that somehow disproved a large section of physics, what would your colleagues think?
Well, they'd probably think it was bullshit at first. But, if I had receipts, probably they'd think that's pretty fucking cool.
Has that ever happened in physics ever?
Yes, to various extents. I mean, when Einstein did general relativity, you could and special relativity and whatnot, you could say it was sort of like an overthrow, proving a lot of stuff wrong. But
I've never heard of Einstein. Never. That's not a name I've ever heard.
Yeah. Very, very unknown dude who has had all of his predictions and theories completely suppressed by the modern physics community. For sure. Absolutely. Because, that's how we work.
I feel like I have to make this point every time I come on. Just scientists want nothing more than to challenge the paradigm and overthrow part of their field. That is how you make history and change the future. We want nothing more.
No, I'm really glad you
Stop
brought
saying
that
we're
up.
afraid to challenge it.
I'm really glad you brought that up because we do bring that up from time to time. Because they like to, I don't know, it's kind of like when evangelicals or like atheists believe that everything was created out of nothing. And I'm like, no atheist has ever told you that. Like, stop saying it. You're making shit up, telling each other, and then believing your bullshit. Yeah. And they do the same thing with this whole, they're indoctrinated to believe the same thing. And they, challenge is strongly dismissed. It's like, no, your like crazy cockamamie machinations are quickly dismissed because they're crazy. Yeah, and you're too stupid to understand why.
They're not like the levels of incomprehensibility of like most, like the people who come up with crackpot physics theories. It's just they have no idea what they're talking about 99% of the time. And
all their questions could be answered by a freshman level course.
No, I mean, it's crazy because it reminds me of I was watching I can't watch the like whole thing of the line, but like a short came out where Forrest and somebody else was talking to this guy who thought he had the theory of everything. And I'm like, okay, I have to watch this. Yeah. And I don't remember what it was exactly. But he was talking about how, something about how 8-legged spiders prove something. And he was like, wait a minute. like that's only one group. We have 4-legged spiders and 6-legged spiders. He was like, oh, okay, well, never mind that then. And the forest is like, whoa, 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 whoa. Did I not just disprove your entire like uh theory here? And he was like, well, no, because, and then it was just one thing like that after another. And then,
Yep.
you know, and then
Yeah.
Forrest is like, okay,
It's like
you got to stop.
you
Yeah,
don't
go
know
ahead.
the thing you're trying to explain.
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
don't explain all the facts because you don't know all the facts.
And then I'm mad at Forrest for trying to, like, for interrupting him, but he's just like, there's just basic shit that you don't understand, and it's fine. It's basic physics shit, which I get it is hard, but you have to understand the basic physics shit.
Yeah.
You're trying to come up with a theory of everything, which is also not a thing. So
No.
I mean, people who understand, like, there are entire sections of physics that I don't know a ton about because it's not my section of
yeah,
physics.
same
And
psychology. You can't know
you know,
everything about everything.
exactly. And it's but like, oh, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought because of the stupid.
Yeah, no. Welcome to Bad Science
I get
Sunday.
Oh.
Like, just if
Yeah,
any conspiracy theorists are watching still, quit saying this shit.
It's vacuous, and it's I mean, all of these, we could talk about the pituitary gland like for hours. Well, I mean, we couldn't, but we could
in
listen to
theory,
somebody talk about it
it's
depending
a
or
thing that
whatever.
could happen.
Yeah. And because it's, I mean, it's a pretty interesting thing. Like, you can, any subject, you can dive into it
Yeah.
and get lost in cool, interesting facts if you're into that sort of thing. But
And
they're
like
not.
the story of origins, how we got here, that's a fascinating topic.
It really
History,
is.
Yeah.
prehistory, biology, geology. It's fascinating stuff. You don't have to make things up.
No, cosmology is cool. Like,
I mean, just I don't know. I mean, I went through like a year where like just kind of like the primatology and studying like humans, like what were we before this and before that, and when I was just like, oh, we're this little rat thing back at the time of the dinosaurs, and it didn't even occur to me like how we got from like water to Homo sapien.
Yeah.
And the information's there. It's all there. It's like they have like just really simple, like whether you want to get into the minutia of like how scientists describe it to each other, or if you want just this really basic PBS eons kind of, dumbed down for, to make it easy to reach for, fifth graders. It's all there. You can understand it on any level that you want to understand it on. You don't have to make shit up. It's interesting.
And it's not just there. If you want to know why we think the things we do about what we do, ask. Just about any scientist is going to be ecstatic to tell you everything you could ever want to know and 10 times more about anything you're interested in.
Especially an
At least as
American
long as it pertains
scientist
to
right
their
now.
field. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, God. I mean, although, frankly, I feel like a lot of us also don't want to draw attention to ourselves. That's
Maybe not draw attention, but if somebody called them up and was like, "Hey, can you explain science for me?
but
Are you voting age? Like, will you be by the next election?" I think it's going to be higher on the priority list than it has been in prior years. But even in prior years, if you are honestly asking, they'll find time for you. Most scientists have, office hours, and their students aren't walking in, they'll answer a question. Like they literally just set aside time for questions. It's
Yeah.
you know
I mean, all of us have an email. If we're at an institution, it's almost certainly publicly available.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I thank you for coming through and helping us.
Yeah, sorry, you're probably wanting to close up, huh?
No. If you have more, I'm awake. I'm here. I'm not. We don't have you on as often as we used to. Really excited that you're back, and I love talking to you because you always have like cool science findings to show the community, and we like to
Well,
geek out here from time to time.
I appreciate that. Sometimes I just think I'm saying big words.
Oh, and sometimes the chat likes to ask riveting questions.
Yeah, true. She muted you, Tab.
I did not. He muted himself.
Oh.
Damn it.
Stop it. Get some help.
Roboting. I can't hear.
Back.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh no, my internet connection. Holy shit. Okay. Team O&B's woefully dogmatic chronostatic centrism is a member for 11 months. You changed your name just to fuck with every creator that you give money to, didn't you?
I mean,
and he says Lemuriaology class complete. Fill out the surveys.
Speaking of the real history, like the history behind just like primates and the reason why Lemuria was even proposed is really fascinating, because there are a lot of weird similarities between a lot of East Africa animals and Madagascar animals and Indian and like Malaysian animals. There's a ton of weird, neat similarities. And a lot of it stems from like those land masses used to be connected closer in the past than you think. So we have primitive stuff like lemurs that used to be in Africa and India. Madagascar separated, they stayed there. Other primates didn't join them. But the primates that were on the mainland continued spreading. And they spread all over Asia and Africa. And they turned into things like tarsiers and galagos. Weird, freaky, cute little things. And changing climatic conditions derived monkeys, some of which, from Africa, got pushed across the Atlantic into South America and became their own separate branch. While those on the while those in Africa and Asia adapted to so many weird environments that we're not the only lineage of bipedal apes to have evolved. Like, we have some from France that apparently did it all on their own. And then there's the whole saga of human evolution and diverging into dozens of species. There was a point on Earth where Earth was Middle Earth. You had humans, elves, hobbits, dwarves, 4 or 5 or more species of humans all coexisting, all mixing, and that's just primates. It's just humans, and there's so much more. Ask a paleontologist.
Oh God, sorry. Chat is cracking me up tonight. The lemurs don't appreciate being told that they're primitive.
Sorry, they're not primitive, they're just basal.
Oh God. Okay. You two fight after class. Doc, who are you? Where are you? What do you have coming up this week?
Sure. I'm the nerd that just went on a rant about monkeys. I'm DokDeino, or DokDeino for short. My handle is @DokDeino, spelled like I'm German because it's a parody of Kent Hovind. I don't know.
Yeah,
He was a
fuck that
creationist
guy.
that really got under my skin, and I thought of a name pun.
I know. Is there any are there any Hoven fans in the chat? Because I think we're all on the same page there.
I hope there are ex-Hoven fans in the chat.
Oh, look, there are 31% of the chat can't hit the like button because they're in a gaseous state. So take that, atheist.
Condensate into our material world, people. And yeah, if you like hearing me rant about things, I like to talk dinosaurs, evolution, geology, all that kind of stuff. I'm currently working on a long video that just keeps getting longer about how every lineage of vertebrates has evolved to be a crocodile at least once. Most of them more than once. Whales were crocodiles.
When is that going to release?
Hopefully within the next few weeks. It gets longer because I keep finding more things that turned into crocodiles.
What were you saying?
How many vertebrates evolved into crabs, though?
Let's define a crab first.
I mean, it's the crab kind. Come on.
Well, you might be able to argue that armadillos and pangolins are mammal crabs. They're used turtles. Turtles are crabs. They got hard shells and they pinch.
They don't really
bunch
have
of weird
claws,
Permian things. And Mesozoic things. Let's say a few times. Probably at least a few times.
All right. But not as many as crocodiles.
No. If you just imagine a crocodile,
yeah.
Like I just said, whales went through a phase where they were crocodiles. Just because.
Just because. All right. Dr. Vandy.
YouTube.
Yeah. Do you have anything coming up that you know of?
No, I do not. I've been working and doing that. I've been not trimming my beard. I'm growing my beard out because I like to play with it.
Okay.
Also, I mean, I'm leaning into the, hobo look.
Good job.
Exactly.
All right. So we'll be back here next week talking to somebody about something, and hope to see everybody back. So yeah, I don't know. Go out there and try not to be as stupid as who did we showcase this week? Yeah, the guy we showcased this week. Anything before we go?
Spiritual Warrior Experience is the name of the channel.
Yeah, of course it is.
That was Here,
wait, but before we go,
yeah,
can we listen to him at 0.5 times speed? I want to see how high he sounds.
No, we were at 0.5. Ooh.
0.5.
Okay. I don't know if my ADHD can take this.
I can do that. I have to share the thing again.
This is going to be painful.
Yeah,
probably.
No.
It's more than mere animal intellect, which only self-deceives by seeking subjective rationalizations. We could gain direct experience through our late.
I mean, just to remind ourselves, this is normal speed.
Superior senses. Yet, our spiritual faculties are so atrophied that we act as if science is rooted in the physical dimension in nature.
It's not so bad.
The reality,
it's not so bad. No, at the beginning, it sounded like he was just waking up.
Yeah, no, he was so bad.
Just gone.
Sorry,
I wanted to explain.
No, that
why?
We have literally nothing better to do. Hey, see you next week, everybody.
Oh wait, he needs to say recapitulation.